part of our role here is what we give back to the community. I know all of us, we earlier talked about the commitments we believe in as Rotarians and the things that we do, say, and do. One of those commitments is to give back to the community. And that's why I'm so happy that we've been able to, on an ongoing basis, contribute monies and dollars to the city of Bloomington and really across this entire region. So what I'm going to do is have our foundation president come up and give a little bit of a presentation. Don't, as you come up, don't worry, I'm just going to run out there real quick because I want to just get a little piece of meat. But I'll be right back.
Okay. Many of you know that our Rotary Club sponsored the STRIVE program, which was for our students in both of our high schools. SOAR was at Jefferson and STRIVE was at Kennedy. These are for students that had the potential to achieve and go on to college or higher education of some sort, who might not be prepared to try to do that right now. And so STRIVE was designed to catch them while they were still in high school, give them some mentoring, and see if we couldn't encourage them to go on. And so we always gave scholarships at the end of that program to every student who deserved it, who had been there 100% of the time, or at least had a very good academic record with the STRIVE program. And so Rotarians over all of the years were contributing dollars toward these scholarships. Well, we had amassed quite a large amount of money, as you're going to see today. The STRIVE program changed. Our school system handled was handling these students in a slightly different way, and it worked better with the school district, it worked better with the students. And so we, as a club, will not be doing the STRIVE program this year and into the future. Those dollars, we are now going to start to distribute those out to various organizations that give scholarships to these same types of students that we would have otherwise been serving. The first organization is the Education Foundation of Bloomington, and I will start with them. The Education Foundation, Tiffany Shermak is their president, and the Education Foundation works with our seniors graduating, and today we are presenting Tiffany a check in the amount of $50,000 from our foundation funds. Tiffany, come on over here so you're not in the middle of... That $50,000, we are suggesting that it should last at least the next 5 years. We will learn from the Education Foundation of those students that receive these scholarship grants, and hopefully we will visit with some of them in club meetings. We will try to keep in touch in some ways, and so the Education Foundation always has them try to write thank you notes, and so we will have some form of communication back and forth. Tiffany is going to tell us a little bit about the work of the foundation with scholarships.
Thank you, Karyn, and thank you to the Rotary. I'm just going to kind of stand. I'm height challenged, as you can see, and that bell is right in my view. As Karyn mentioned, one of the primary program areas of our foundation is awarding scholarships to those seniors graduating from Jefferson and Kennedy high schools in Bloomington. We do have other programming that you'll hear a little bit about later on as well, but scholarships is the primary program that does draw most of our funds. I grabbed just a couple numbers because some of you know me, some of you may not. I'm a CPA, so I'm a numbers person. So just a few numbers. I was looking back. Our foundation has been in existence since the 1980s. And some of you also know that Rotarians represent on the foundation as well. So Karyn has been an invaluable piece to the Education Foundation, as she is here to the Rotary, and Bob Erickson has had critical involvement with our Education Foundation, among others. So there's a lot of overlap there. But since I kind of just looked back at our scholarship activity, I looked back at the last 10 years, And in the last 10 years, our foundation has awarded roughly $750,000 in scholarships. So that's $750,000. But what I broke down then is the first 5 years was about $250,000, and then the most recent 5 years has been $500,000. So our foundation has been fortunate enough to be the recipient of gifts like this from the Rotary, along with gifts from other sources that has allowed us to really broaden our reach to more students to help them further their education. So we're seeing a large increase because of the resources we've been, that we've acquired and been entrusted with. We've seen a large increase in what we're able to do and the impact we can have. The other thing is, I just looked at the last 5 years. On average, we award about 75 scholarships. More recently, it's been about 100 per year, so we're able to benefit about 100 students a year with the scholarships we manage.
That's fantastic. I'm going to have Tiffany. Tiffany is going to stay up here now for another couple minutes, because the second check that we are going to give out, which is also going to be for scholarships, but they're scholarships of a slightly different type. One of the programs of the foundation is called Student Success Stipends. This is for students who basically have an economic issue here in Bloomington, and Bloomington is really diverse. So students whose families can't always afford everything, or can't afford an extracurricular course like with community ed or a music lesson. Sometimes we have to supply clothing and so on and so forth. So these stipends are designed to help students with different needs. Well, we, as a Rotary Club, got connected with the middle school sports over the last couple of years. And our foundation would like to give $11,000 for student stipends to help to support the middle school sports program for uniforms for the students who are participating in a team sport, where a team would have a whole set of uniforms or a whole set of sweatshirts or whatever it is, with a lot of students because of our diversity, especially on the east side. For those students who couldn't afford the $50, for a fancy sweatshirt or whatever. So we already have a grant from the middle school sports, and these dollars are going to help cover that grant. So, Tiffany, did you want to say anything more?
Yes. So our Student Success Stipend program, the funds that the Rotary has been able to provide now is going to benefit, as Karyn said, directly the middle school athletic program. Our stipends typically go out in the nature of helping fund field trips, helping fund drama activities, helping fund some other additional things in the classroom, outside of the classroom for our students. And not necessarily specifically for athletics. So this grant in particular, I'm really excited to see the reach it can have to help reach that sector of our students that need just a little bit extra to be able to stay involved. Dr. Melby can attest to this. Research shows that students that have after-school extracurricular activities and can stay engaged are far more successful, and the grad rate, it benefits the grad rate long-term. So these funds are very, very important. Our Student Success Stipend program, typically we award about $20,000 a year in total for stipends, and this year alone, we're a fiscal June 30 year, so we're halfway through our year, and we've already awarded $20,000 this year alone. So there's definite need. There always has been need. We're just trying to make sure we get the word out in front of our staff in the buildings so they know that the resources are available, but this will definitely be very helpful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And thank you.
I have a third check. Jane, would you come forward, please?
Showing that identity.
All right. We have already distributed $25,000 to Hennepin Technical College. And we are now in the process of working out all of the criteria for those scholarships. They will be for graduating Bloomington or Jefferson students throughout the years as they come back to school or start their college education at Hennepin Technical College. We are just giving another $25,000 to the Normandale Community College Foundation. Jane is the development.
Executive Director, just call me that.
Good, I'm glad I don't have to know her title. Anyway, for the same purposes. There's a slight difference between the two schools. Normandale Community College is really connected here in Bloomington, therefore a lot of our Bloomington students might go over to Normandale. That is not quite the case with the Hennepin Technical College, so that's why we're agreeing with them that we're going to support at all ages, because there's a lot of people who have been graduates of our schools that are in the midst of career change or want to have new skills or whatever, and they will go back to school. So we want to support all of that. It's really fantastic, and these will all be scholarships to help those students. Each of these $25,000 packets of money is going to hopefully last at least 5 years and maybe even longer. So, Jane, did you want to talk a little bit about your scholarship program?
Yes. Fun fact, first of all, thank you very much. Especially right now, the state of Minnesota, I don't know how well publicized this is, has a scholarship shortfall. Do you guys know about this? Typically, if you fill out a Pell, you fill out a FAFSA, you get your Pell Grant, the next piece of money you get is from the state of Minnesota. It doesn't have a fancy name. It's not a fancy program. The state of Minnesota goes, okay, here you go. Here's some money because you're Pell eligible. And then the next thing is you get a scholarship from us, and then you get some money, maybe, from North Star Promise. Well, the state ran out of money. Imagine that. So now, these scholarships are even more meaningful because we have students who are halfway through the year that don't have all the money they were promised. So just know that this is extra appreciated. Fun fact, one of the reasons I'm successful at my job is because of Tiffany. She's my CFO. She's a CFO for hire. So, and we're I'm so happy with her, and she's got a great head for numbers. They specialize in nonprofits, just FYI. Thank you all, and we always try to get you the thank you notes, and I don't think that'll be any different, but it's just going to be, the student support services staff is going to be excited to hear that there's more coming in. Thank you.
Oops. And thank you to all of you Rotarians who donated these dollars over these years to make all of this possible. Imagine that, $111,000 was just distributed. Thank you. Okay.
I personally never realized how hard it was to give money away. And Karyn, I think, has been instrumental in making sure that our funds went out efficiently, equitably, and legally. And I'm gonna tell you, without her, I guarantee you, I would have not had an idea. So we owe her a big debt.